Hey everyone, welcome to Wet Felting Flowers. We're going to be making some smaller sized flowers, approximately 3 inches across, that you can add to other projects, or you can make a bouquet, a lot of things that you can do with this technique. So let's see here. To get started, we're going to build our workstation just like we've done for every other wet felting project. And then we're going to be adding down some small wispies for our flower. We're going to lay this down in a circular pattern. I'm using a longer staple length wool fiber here. This one is a merino. It's going in a circle pattern, and then we're going to fill in the middle. You want these to be pretty thin. We're not building this up a whole lot. Mostly just the one layer for the back, and that's going to be the back of your flower. Adding a little bit more detail here. This is where I'm adding in the petals. I am just making 5 petals for my flowers, starting out with the base of the yellow. And you can see that I'm folding the ends in on themselves here towards the middle. Gonna add some contrast color here just to define my petals a little more. And then here I'm adding even more contrast. This is a nice burgundy red that I'm adding in, and this is a bamboo fiber here. This is going to be a nice shiny effect when we're done. Just going to add some little wispies over my bamboo fiber there to make sure that that felts in. And that was it for that flower. We're going to make another flower. We're going to do 3 or 4 here. You can do these in multiples. It's pretty easy. So I'm doing a pink one here. Again, laying it out in a circle pattern and then filling in the middle. Just the one layer there, as you can see, and then I'm going to build out my petals. Putting the end in the middle and then folding it over so that both ends are towards the middle. Going to add a little bit of contrast fiber on top of that. Here I'm adding some more of the coconut fibers to get that nice shiny effect. This is a little bit of Sari Silk Waste going on top there, again for another added dimension and some more shine. And then just a little bit of wispy over the top to make sure that that felts in. And now we're going to make a teal blue flower. You're going to build your background again in a circular pattern. And then fill in the middle. Make sure there's no gaping holes. It can be a little thin, but you don't want any big giant holes in there. Then you're going to make your petals. And you can do more petals if you want. I just like to do 5. However many you can fit in your circle. And then I like to add shine to my flowers. And I'm going to make one more purple one. Exact same way. Make a circle, fill in the middle. And you can make as many flowers at a time as you want, however many fit on your workstation. The bigger the contrast of the colors in your flower, the easier it will be to cut your petals apart later and make your flower into that flower shape. Okay, so once you're done designing your flowers, you're going to take your second piece of mesh and place that over your flowers, and then you're going to get your flowers all wet. Make sure they're soaked all the way through. And then you can do a little bit of rubbing here. Fairly sure I added soap there. I think I missed that step in the video. So make sure you've added soap onto your flower designs. You can just take your bar of soap and rub that over the top, and then you're going to rub a little bit with your hands and get that all wet through and soapy. You can see the suds coming up now with the rubbing. You're just going to rub back and forth and around and get that felting started here. Then you can take off your top piece of mesh, and you're going to carefully pull up one of your flowers. I'm using a bucket here of hot water so that I can keep videotaping this for you, but normally I use my sink and just have the faucet on pretty hot. The hot water really helps to get your flower all felted together and shrunk down. So what you're going to do is you're taking your round circle. You are draping it over a finger. So you're putting your finger in the center of the flower and draping that flower over your finger. Get it all nice and wet in the hot water, and then you take it between your hands and roll it, making sure that the center of your flower stays at the top between your palms. Once you've rolled that, maybe about 10 or 20 times, you're going to unfold it. You unfold it, and here I'm getting it a little more soapy, just to make sure we've got that soap in there. I'm going to rub it back and forth a little bit between my hands, get that felted a little bit more. And then we're going to drape it over the finger, find that center, get it all nice and hot, and roll it between the palms. Make sure that center stays at the top of your palms. You're going to unfold it, turn that inside out, find the center again, get it all nice and hot, and roll it again between your palms. Really only rolling like 10 to 12 times before I'm getting it wet again and rolling it again. You're going to keep turning it inside out and rolling some more until you get it felted down so it's nice and firm. You really want to roll pretty hard at the top of the flower, or the middle of the flower, because that's what keeps that shape, so that it's got the center part to it. Just keep finding the center of your flower and rolling it continuously around through the center. Once you've got it fairly well felted there, now you can cut your petals apart if they need to be. So right there you can see I've got a little bit of that extra background color there that I'm cutting out in a little triangle shape. This one really just needs sort of a slice there. That one didn't need any cutting. And then here we're just cutting out a tiny little bit of a triangle. And same here. Once you've cut out your petals, you're going to need to roll it again. So you want to finish those edges because they're pretty raw once you've cut them, and there's a lot of loose ends. So you just roll that again. And this helps your petals get more of a petal shape also. So once you're done rolling from that part, you're going to take your petals and stretch those back out. Your piece should be pretty firmly felted right now, so you're not going to be tearing those petals apart. You're not going to be creating holes. You're just stretching out the middles there so that you get that nice petal shape. Okay, we're going to move on to the next flower. We're going to get that nice and hot. We're going to felt a little bit between the palms of our hands. Rub that back and forth. Make sure there's no holes. Then we're going to find the center of our flower, drape that around our finger, and then start rolling. You're going to pull it apart, turn it inside out, find the center again, and roll some more. turn it inside out again, find the center, and roll some more. You want to keep turning it inside out while you're rolling so that it's not felting all together. Otherwise, you'll never get it apart again. It'll just make a long roll and no flower. So continue to pull that apart, find the center, and roll it between the palms of your hands with that center defined there. This is really a lot easier to do under the faucet. Turning it inside out one more time here. Find that center and roll some more. You can do this as many times as it takes to get your felt nice and firm. Once you've got that nice firm piece of felt going, you can shape your petals again. So we're just going to cut a little bit here. This one needed a little bit of a triangle cut out. This one needs quite a lot. And same for that one. Just a little bit more there. Then once you're done cutting, you roll again to finish those edges. There's my kitty. That's Night. She always likes to see what I'm doing. Okay, so then again, once you're done with your rolling and you've got that nice firm piece of felt, you're going to take your petals and you're going to stretch them out from the middle to get that nice petal shape. And again, at this point, your felt should be super firm, so you're not going to tear it and you're not going to make holes. Okay, so I did the same thing with the next two flowers. And then once you've got your flowers all shaped like this, and at this point, especially if you're using the sink, all the soap should be out of your flowers. If you're using a bucket like I did here, you are going to have to take your flowers over to the sink and rinse all the soap out. But here I'm shaping the flowers again, and you want to let those dry completely. So a couple things that I have found that help these to dry into their shape are the lids to aerosols. So just some nice little plastic cups so that the middle of your flower sets inside and the petals drape over, and you let it dry like that, and it makes it keep its shape